Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Laura Rose and today I'm going to be reviewing a science fiction novella that was sent to me by Vagabondage Press. It is called The Communication Room by Adam Aresty. I don't actually have a hard copy of this. They sent it to me electronically. Thank you so much. I had a really fun time reading this. The Communication Room is a sci-fi novella that is set kind of in this alternate history world and near future. We meet the main character, Leonard Ackerman, when he is running from some unknown attacker in the scientific bunker where he works. Ackerman uses one of his colleagues' credentials to get into a highly secured room, and he essentially gets locked in with the enemy at his door and a test in front of him. There is a box that is full of telephones. Ackerman realizes this is a test that he needs to pass to get out of the room and continue on, and in order to do this he needs to answer each of the telephones when they ring and talk to the person on the other side. He doesn't know what's going to happen after he gets through the test. He's not sure if that he's just going to be let back out into the other room where his enemies are, or if something else is going to happen after that. But either way, he either has to finish this test or he can hit the emergency stop button and get pushed back out into where his attackers are waiting to kill him. Throughout the book, Ackerman answers each of these telephones and talks to people from different time periods, and it's a really interesting way to build the plot and show us the alternate history and how each of the events in the past up to the present have led to where Ackerman is right now. He's gathering info from the people he talks to, and we get to see how the world got like it did. We also learn who he's fighting, how they came to be, and basically what Ackerman can do to essentially save the world. Ackerman is a scientist who works with extremely dangerous materials, trying to figure out how they work. We get to know him as a character through little bits and pieces because this is a novella, so everything's very compact. He has an intimate relationship with a woman, but other than that, we don't learn much about him. You do feel with him as he struggles through the test, but this is a very plot-heavy story. So obviously, as this is a novella, he is the main character and he's the only perspective we see through the entire story. You get to see everything from his perspective as he deals internally with the struggles and externally with the struggles, so you're really getting a very intimate experience through Ackerman's eyes. The plot was very interesting. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the way that Aresty used the telephones to show us what was happening in the world and how Ackerman kind of got to talk to all these different kinds of people. Although there was a really steep learning curve, he jams a lot of action in at the beginning, a lot of stuff is happening, and I was a little confused, so it took me a while to kind of catch up and feel like I could really get into the story. But once I did, everything really pulled me through. There was not a dull point in the story, nothing that lulled me. I wanted to boom, 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 finish it straight through, and I actually did finish it in a day. Like I said before, I really liked the way the telephones walked us through the history of the world. The only problem was that this was a test, supposedly. That's what I was led to believe. Maybe I read it wrong, but that this is a test that he has to pass in order to do something. The problem that I had was at the end of the novella, although I was really interested, I liked the story, I was pulled all the way through, I wasn't actually sure how the test was relevant to what Ackerman did at the end. And maybe this is on me as a reader, that I read too fast or I missed something, I wasn't able to process it. Maybe I need to read it again. But I would kind of hope that the author would spell it out a little more deeply for the reader, considering that it's the main plot point of the book, the communication room. At the end, I didn't know how that mattered. I was just like, oh, he did this cool test and now this is happening. That's something he'll hopefully be conscious of in his next writings, which I would definitely love to read because the way that he structured everything was really interesting. The other thing that I didn't really like was the world building. I know that in a novella you're like kind of crunched for words and you're kind of crunched for time, but I never really could quite picture the place that Ackerman was in. Although he did spell it out, it still is kind of hard for me because you're living in this like future sci-fi world, and I kind of wish that there was a little bit more grounding so I would be able to picture this place that all these telephones were in. All I have is like kind of a white room with telephones in my mind after reading the story. Again, you would think that the author would go a little bit harder on that, considering that 95% of the book takes place in this one room. But overall, I really enjoyed this novella. It had a lot of great pacing. That was definitely the best part of it. I was just wanted to keep reading. He also did deliver a lot of information, explain this whole alternate history and this world to us in a very short amount of time without completely overwhelming me, although like I said in the beginning, I was a little unsure. My favorite part about this novella is that it was extremely satisfying ending while still being quite open-ended. I would definitely love to see like the next chapter or, you know, the sequel to this and see where it goes. But at the same time, like, I could be satisfied with the way that it ended. And that is really hard for an author to do, so I'm very impressed with that. I'd say if you like sci-fi, if you want a quick, fun read, definitely go check out The Communication Room by Adam Aresty. And that is from Vagabondage Press. Thank you guys so much for sending it to me. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, have a glittery day. Bye-bye.